We're back with part 2. We have Jade and Marina Eagleson. Hello. Thanks for coming back.
Yes, another
we
go
almost
around.
didn't make it back for round
It's nice. We even said before we recorded the first episode with you guys, this is like a double date because we haven't been able to see you during the pandemic. So this is just nice. We're just chit-chatting and having fun on the podcast.
Yeah. So we'll dive right into it. But the first thing that I kind of wanted to touch on is at the beginning of Megan and I's relationship, we did something called love languages, and like we did a quiz where you answer like 50. Jade's like all hyped up. Yes, love languages. So I think you answer like 20 or 30 or something.
It's a lot of questions.
A lot of questions, but they're like very situational stuff. Like, do you need this in this specific situation? What? How do you feel about this? Blah blah blah. But anyways, kind of what I wanted to touch on is like being there for each other in your relationship, and both of you are different, and I guess each of you need different things from each other. So how did you guys go about kind of learning that about each other? When did you learn about that from each other? Did it take a while?
I mean, it kind of was like, it changes over time almost a bit.
We're still learning each other's love languages.
The love languages thing is actually like, it's so legitimate. Like I have a wonderful, amazing life coach named Mike Walker from Legendary Coaching, and he gave me the love languages, and I was looking at it at first. I was like, oh, this is like whatever. And then upon going through it, as I realized some stuff about myself, I was like, I always thought that I was like the mushy, gushy kind of type, but like I figured out that like my like kind of I can't remember the exact name for it, but it's like actions, right? Like
there's
that's kind of mine.
Yeah, there's 5 love language: words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Those are the 5.
But it changes after you have a baby, for sure.
It is always shifting. So I think it's like really healthy to kind of like reanalyze it and go through it again every 6 months or so, because as people's relationships develop, I can easily see some of those changing. For me, like I think when we started, I was definitely like the words of affirmation and physical touch and stuff, but like as we progressed and I kind of knew that Marina like loved me in that way, like I just kind of shifted into like acts of service, and who knows what it is now. I should really we should go through that.
Jade is slowly turning into his grandfather. I feel like
what does that mean?
Explain how your grandparents' relationship is, because it's the most amazing relationship. They've been together since they were like 19.
Yeah, they're like 70 something years or something crazy. Aww. Like it's nuts. But my grandpa and grandma are very independent. Like they do their own things and stuff. But like my grandpa is still very like he knows what he needs to do to like kind of lift her spirits. So like you don't see them really mushy gushy or anything like that. And anytime you tease them about anything romantic, they get really red in the face.
Are you guys like that too? Or are you more like independent in the relationship, or are you kind of lean on one another most of the time?
I mean, it's a mixture. Like we're kind of like a team when we need to be, but we're also
I feel like we're a really, really good team, and we work together really well. Like if like Jade has like a busy work day, I'll kind of know, and I'll make sure that I'm taking care of Levi and like making sure Jade can fully focus on his situation. And I feel like we don't really need to communicate that anymore, because we kind of just like understand each other's cues.
I mean, learning it wasn't like always like, it wasn't easy right away, but it was like, it's just kind of understanding, like, because every human being in the world needs like their own time and their own thing to do, like a little bit at least. So like, we're just really like trying to find like a healthy divide and make that happen, right? So
well, how do you feel, especially like with the pandemic, like we said in the previous episode with you two, where you both were living busy lives, you were going out touring, you were working, and now all of a sudden that's stopped. You're in a house for most of the days of the week, right? So now your time is spent with each other almost 24/7. So you've had to adapt in that way too, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been good for me. Like, I know it sounds strange, but like being away so much, now that we've actually been able to be together, it's like definitely kind of filled a hole in my heart. So this is, there's a positive to this whole thing, and I think it's just getting to see your family more and stuff, and I'm really not taking a second of it for granted, because I really do enjoy this extra time with them.
And I'm honestly the clingiest person you'll ever meet in your life. Like I could literally I could be like this all day, every day, and I'd still be fine. So more so me giving Jade like his time when he's like, okay, I'm gonna have a game night. I'm like, okay, like fine.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Dylan has been playing more video games, I feel, during the pandemic too. And I'm just like, do you want to watch Grace? Do you want to come sit on the couch?
But like I make a point, like, because we don't live together, like when she's here, it's us time. But like there's been even moments even in the last couple of weeks where like we've spent days, like blocks of days together, and I'm like, can I just like go game while you like maybe do something else, like just to create a separation, or like, you know.
We were the opposite, and that was the thing in the beginning of our relationship. Like I'm usually a very independent person.
It was so funny
and
that way.
You were like, I want to spend like every day with you, and I'm like, I'll see you in 5 days.
Yeah.
Like I need to play.
And it's funny because like I was in like this hyper like love mode where I still love you so much, but I was just
now
like,
I'm just tired of you.
No, I was always wanting to prove myself, and I was always wanting to prove like my love. So then in that aspect, I always wanted to be with you. But now that like we're an old in love couple. No, I'm just kidding. It's only been 6 months. But like now that we're a lot more like comfortable with each other, it's just interesting how we realize when the other person needs time, and we realize when the other person needs affection. You just kind of adapt that way, right? And that's
where I'm sloppy, because I don't always pick up on the cues, and then
neither do I, honestly, but we're getting better at it. Because like there's times where she just needs a day, like she's just like, I don't want to hang out today, like, right? And I wouldn't have picked up on that before, and I'm starting to get it where like, if for example this weekend we've done a lot of stuff, and like we've been doing podcast stuff the last 2 days, so I know tomorrow she's probably going to want to just, you know, have a day at home and hang out. So you just kind of learn and adapt with that, right? But it's interesting how you say like how you were talking about love languages and how your relationship kind of shifts slowly as it goes, and like seems like you go on like 6 month kind of increments of like stuff slowly changes or shifts or shapes, right? And that'll happen for the rest of our lives, right? So that's cool.
For you two, how do you handle conflict in your relationship? Is there ways that you have like maybe this time apart where you're like, okay, you need to, you know, be in your space, I need to be in mine? Or is it just constant, hey, we need to fix this right now, let's have that communication?
We're very immediate. Like we talk things through, like as soon as something comes up, it's like always addressed like right away. So it's never really like, we've never had like screaming matches or anything like that, just because we've always been really good at communicating with each other. And it's been great, honestly.
But like honestly, if we will get mad at each other, or if we'll have an argument that gets heated within like maximum an hour, or like we'll go to bed the next morning, we'll wake up and we'll like fully apologize and like make up. Like we're super good at like being like, okay, we were just heated, like, all right, let's
it's always over something ridiculous, like
always is, right?
Like, well, it was a while ago, but I left the plate out or something.
No, okay, listen to this. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
It's more in depth than that.
Listen, Jade's gonna get so mad at me for telling you. So Jade always stays up super late at night playing his games, and I go to bed really early because I know I have to wake up early with Levi and make him breakfast, all this stuff. So I was like, okay, I know that Jade's going to sleep in tomorrow morning. And I texted him, babe, I know you're going to make a steak at 2:30 in the morning. Can you please clean it up so that I don't have to clean it up in the morning when I wake up early with Levi? I have to make all his breakfast and stuff, and it's annoying when there's like dirty stuff all over the counter.
Oh, man.
Especially like I really don't like meat that much, and I don't like blood, and like that's all gross.
It wasn't
all that
a lot
stuff's
of
gross.
Just Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen at 2 a.m. throwing stuff around.
Yeah, so I woke up early with Levi, go downstairs, of course. Huge mess in the kitchen. But I was not even mad. I was like, I'm going to take photos before I clean this up, just in case he tries to tell me he cleaned it up. So I take these photos, and then once Jade's up, I go upstairs and I'm like, so nice. Like, don't even try to tell me
I was in the shower. This is what this woman does. I was in the shower, and she comes around the corner and slaps her phone.
No, just shut your mouth. I literally need to tell. I'm telling the story.
Marina's telling the story.
Do we need a talking stick? We need a virtual talking stick. It's Marina's turn to talk.
Yes. And if he tries to tell you differently, I don't know what to tell you. He's such a... Okay. Jade was in the shower, and I come up, and I'm so sweet. I'm like, hey, babe, like, I thought I asked you last night, like, to please clean up. Like, you know I was going to have to wake up early. He's like, yeah, babe, like, of course I cleaned up. And I'm like, are you sure? I have photos. And he goes, you took photos of the mess in the kitchen? And I'm like, yeah, because I knew you were going to lie to me and tell me you cleaned it up. And he was like, yeah, show me the photos. Show me them. So I slapped them on the door of the shower.
Here's your
And then-
proof. Yeah.
And then he didn't even admit it. He goes through them. He's like, yeah, okay. There's 14 plates with paper towel all over the floor and 13 coffee mugs on the counter. Like,
You have to pat your steaks dry. It's important.
he's like, that's not even messy.
It's always like that too. It's like, oh, well, that's not messy to me, so it shouldn't be messy to you. That's all the time, right? Yeah.
Point of the story is it's always small stuff, or most of the time when there's like arguments or blowouts. Like
And Jade did leave a mess.
Yeah. And moral of the story is
obviously,
Jade,
yeah.
you know, screwed up. And
Moral of the story is take photos if you know they're gonna lie.
That was smart.
So that you
that,
can-
was really good move.
I knew he was
That
gonna
was
be
a
like,
good play.
"You cleaned it up, babe." No, you
I was
didn't.
I was already digging myself a deep hole, and then once the photo evidence showed up, I snapped the handle. So
And
Yeah,
then we
there's-
get
I was
into a
stuck
yelling
there.
match. Levi's just like
was it?
chilling.
We never like
What's
screamed or anything,
happening?
but, like, Levi's just like, oh, here we go.
Levi's like,
What did Dad do?
So you guys have been together for about 3 years. Kind of looking just even in that short time frame of your relationship, what's kind of been like the best moments so far that you've shared together?
Definitely, like having a child together was really awesome. Like when you're like in love with this person, and then you guys create something, it's really special. So I think that's definitely one of the bigger highlights, and just getting to grow with each other every day has been really great.
just knowing you have somebody who like is gonna support you, and you don't have to feel like they're not there for you, or you don't know your way. Because I always feel so supported and so like taken care of by Jade, and I know that Levi has like such an amazing dad to take care of him, so that's really special to me.
You just won't be able to clean up a kitchen someday. But
Yeah, you're gonna have to teach him. Somebody's gonna have to teach him how to do dishes properly. I still have to teach this one how to do dishes properly. So
We've had a discussion
Oh,
for when
God.
we move in together. I will do the laundry because I don't mind doing laundry. I hate doing dishes.
I do
Like
too.
it's just putting your hands in a sink of like dirty food that's like, oh, it's just not.
you clearly have never mucked out a stall or done anything like that, because there's a lot worse that could be on
I
your
just-
hands.
I just don't like the dishes.
Yeah,
and so
I know
if
what
you
you
did the
I know what you
dishes,
mean, and I do agree. It's just like infuriating.
It's just funny.
Oh yeah, it's funny and infuriating. But
I mean, I would do the laundry, but I don't.
You
apparently,
cannot do the laundry.
I've tried like many
Jade
times. and
tried
it's
to do the
somehow
laundry, and
screw up.
he's ruined. I don't shop at Aritzia anymore because
Because you
What's that
put something
Aritzia?
in the dryer that you shouldn't have.
I guess so.
not
Or-
only putting stuff in the dryer, you shouldn't, but you mix like whites with blacks
Oh.
and
oh,
vegetables.
I throw everything in one
You
dryer,
can't do that.
one washer in one dryer. I don't even care.
it cleans well.
Yeah, exactly. And if I end up with a pink shirt, oops.
That's
You
just
know?
no.
It's in
My-
fashion now.
Most of my shirts are like worth $5-10 anyways. So
Yeah,
like
but
the
what
most.
if you love that shirt so much and
Yeah.
you can never find another shirt like that? Don't you want to take care of it, even if it's only $5? Like, don't
I'm
you want
sure
that
you
shirt?
can find something. like
Really?
the internet.
Says the man who has 47 black
Yeah,
t-shirts.
no, that was literally like that's the number, because like on tour there's no like washing thing, and like that was my luck
Oh, yeah.
for the first
Oh,
year. It's just
yeah.
straight black t-shirts. So
Right.
That
like,
was your luck,
I had
actually.
a lot of black t-shirts, like too many.
Yeah.
You've got a black t-shirt area of the closet.
Yeah,
You
there's literally
got the Homer Simpson closet where it's just the same outfits for every day.
pretty much.
Oh,
It's-
amazing.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. So how do you guys both find each other attractive, like both physically and like
How do you
emotionally and
know?
spiritually? No, that's an actual
No, that's-
question, like an honest question.
Be attracted to him.
Like how do you find that glorious mullet attractive? Like
Honestly.
I know I'm attracted to it all the time, and like I pull myself
Yeah,
back, so I
look at
just
Dylan is now
like-
growing like a mullet because
Oh,
of you, Jade.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's getting
I love
there.
I gotta shave the sides down, but you know. But no, that's a serious question. Like, what are some things that Marina finds attractive about Jade, both physically and like spiritually and mentally, and then vice versa?
I like that kind of dangerous look to you. I feel like you're a bit dangerous looking, and you're a bit like rugged, and I like that. You're very manly. Like, I like that about you a lot, and I always tell you that every day. I'm like, wow, look at these shoulders on you.
Just don't put on the notebook.
What?
I
Okay.
gotta mention. I gotta mention, as you say that, the first time Jade met me, he put his hands on my shoulder. He's like, "Look at these shoulders. Look at this guy." And he looks over. He looks over at Megan like, "Wow, you did well."
I remember that.
That was great. Oh man.
Yeah, I guess like with her is pretty.
Wait, I only said physical.
Oh, okay, all right.
I have to talk about all your beautiful
Here we
inner
go.
qualities.
I love to hear it.
He's gonna be so gassed up.
Oh,
I'm gonna
so
have to
good.
deflate your tires after this. Okay.
He's like standing up and feeling all great now.
Honestly, I've never in my life met anybody, and everybody in my family will tell me the same thing. They're like, Jade is the most incredible man that like they have ever met and that anyone has ever met, because you are so caring and selfless. Like, you'll work all day long just to make sure that like I don't have to work and that I can stay home and take care of our child and have those moments that I need to. And you'll do absolutely anything that you like need to do to make sure that I'm comfortable. Like, for example, I got really sick when I was pregnant, and I had to be in the hospital for about 3 weeks, and every single night Jade would just sleep on like a fold out chair next to me in the hospital, and he didn't even leave. Like, he just would go home to shower and then come right back. And it was just so crazy to me that somebody could be so like unconditionally there for you, and it was so amazing to have. And I just really love that about him, and I really love you as a person, and I'm glad I met you. I don't know how I met you and like was able to grow with you and form this sneezes in the middle of this.
He's trying to hide the tears, so he's like faking
Yeah,
it with
mate.
the sneeze.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I feel about you. Honestly, like, you're just so incredible, and you're such an amazing artist. You're so talented, so ambitious, and I couldn't ask for a better partner in life.
Oh, here.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
Oh,
I
man.
love that. Okay, top that, Jade.
Yeah,
I don't know
Jade's
if
turned
I
out.
can. Well, I think like when I met her, like she's immediately probably the most naturally good-looking woman I've ever seen in my life. Like, she just has like this natural beauty to her that's like has always been stunning to me, and there's no like off switch for it. It's like she wakes up and she'll argue with me. She's like, "Oh, I don't have makeup on," or anything like that, but she always has stood out to me as extremely gorgeous. And you know, I love everything. Every feature of her that she's got is amazing. But I think the thing that got me the most was her eyes, like immediately, because she's got like these like little speckles in her eyes that like immediately I was like hooked on. I was like, I've never seen eyes like that. I know that sounds corny, but
Sounds like a song lyric.
yeah, that is a hook. I might use. I've never seen anything like that. That's good. Yeah, but they, you know, from there, like getting to know her, she's extremely selfless and just like always puts everybody else first. Like that's like something that really stood out to me immediately is that, you know, she always goes out of her way to make me feel really special about myself, and always kind of puts my needs first before her own. And you know, that's always meant a lot to me. And you know, she's kind of transitioned that same kind of love into being a mother, and she's the most incredible mother. I mean, she's really devoted and dedicated to being an incredible mom, and you know, that makes me fall even more in love with her, because that's something that it's tricky. It's tricky to balance all those different things, and she crushes it every day. Like, she attacks every day with like a good attitude, and you know, keeps positive right to the end, and it's always been incredible, and I look up to that.
Random, like, yes or no question. Did you guys write your own vows for your wedding?
We wanted to, but because we eloped, we literally decided, we were like, let's just get married this week, and then we got married, so we didn't really have time to do that, just because it was so last minute. But we were actually talking about how if we have like a wedding, then we definitely want to do that.
we did off the cuff kind of say like what, and that was kind of a special feeling too, just because like we're getting married, and like before we like said I do's and everything like that, like we like spoke from the heart, and it kind of made it like authentic and really personal, just because like you're speaking right from the heart, and it's like
it's not
it's
scripted
really awesome.
and all that.
Yeah.
That just came to my mind because you guys were so sweet, like saying what you love about each other. I'm like, I wonder if they wrote their own vows.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just reading off our scripts from the wedding.
knowing
like,
knowing often I forget lyrics. I think it would just turn into a disaster. So
Do you find, okay, obviously, like both of you are very good looking people.
Oh,
Do you,
thank you, Megan.
honestly, like, do you guys get jealous or like have, like, do you cue into maybe when Jade, a guy's looking at Marina and you're like, hello, that's my wife, or like vice
she does
versa?
not. Well, I do. I used to be extremely jealous, but like I just kind of have to live with the fact that I have a really attractive wife. So that's gonna be something that
Live
happens.
with it.
I actually remember,
It's difficult.
I can't remember when this was, and I think it was like around CCMAs where Jade told me a story of you guys were walking somewhere and you were pregnant, and a guy was like looking at you from behind, and like you turned, and there was like your belly.
That was where was that? Where was that? That was
That was
at
at Cross Iron.
Yeah, it was at Cross
Yes.
Iron Mills. I remember. It was the funniest thing I've ever.
Looking at Marina, and he's like, yeah, and then she turns and she's pregnant, and he's like, oh.
She's got the baby bump happening. Oh,
I remember
this guy.
that.
Oh, this guy saw it was like hell froze over or something. He's like, oh, like okay.
Because you can't tell, honestly.
No, from
like
the
the back, like
She
you
was,
can't
like,
tell.
She's an incredibly like. The only thing that you had for extra weight was literally like Levi. That was it. And,
Like
like,
a basketball.
yeah, she gave birth, and then like a week, like no, it's just instant. It was like literally like nothing happened. I was like, what the hell? I was like, I've seen like other people go through this, and then she just like bounced back. I was like, maybe we need to have another one. Let's see how long this lasts. How many rounds?
Oh,
That's
man.
a good thing, because a lot of like ladies, they're just like, oh, now I have all this. But yeah, no, that's funny.
But it was pretty funny.
Oh, Marina, do you think it's necessary to know everything from your partner's previous relationships? For like question for both of you, like, did you guys have that discussion, or did you just go into this relationship just like clean slate? Hey, we trust each other. We're just gonna go with us.
Wait, me and you are complete opposites of this, because like Jade wants to know everything about my
Yeah.
past, and I literally like I'm like, don't even tell me one thing. I want to know absolutely nothing. I don't want
Really?
to know a single thing. Yeah, because like I don't know, like I would really overthink, and I would just like, there's no need for that in my life. Like I can't handle that.
I mean, like
I think you can handle it, but I can't.
we kind of talked through it a bit, but like, looking back, it's almost like I'd rather have not. I mean, there's
No,
nothing
yeah.
really like, there's nothing that was like, oh my gosh, really? Like, there's none of that
Yeah.
at all. It was just like, everyone, none of that matters really. Like, as long as you guys are moving forward, if you're
Yeah.
focusing on the past, then that's where you gonna get stuck. So, that
I
was
wasn't
definitely.
opposed to telling Jade anything.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm fully open. Like I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Because I at that point I knew I wanted to spend my
I
life
mainly
with
just
Jade.
like wanted to know, like, hey, if we're walking down the street and some guy, I want to know, like,
Oh
if
yeah,
that's
Jade
your
wants
ex
to
or
know
not,
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the
Like,
moment.
I don't want to be like a
Because
fool.
I'm normally pretty clueless. Like, if a guy's like, oh, it's so good to see you, la 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 la, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's really nice, and it's like, yeah, that's my boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or whatever. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's beneficial to know information, then obviously you want to know
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
like,
I think that we've found that too, is like if it's beneficial or like you need to talk about it, otherwise like it doesn't really need to be talked
Well,
about, right?
Yeah.
On our first date, I swear you put like everything on the table.
Well, I did. So I put everything on the table
Like,
because I've been through a lot
everything.
of like past trauma with relationships.
Yeah.
So I wanted to like get it out there of like what I was expecting or like where I was coming from. Because I've done that on a lot of like first dates, because I don't want to like, surprise them 3 months later and say, hey, like my last relationship was like really crappy and this is what I went through, and then like have to deal with that baggage again. So like
Yeah.
that's why I was very upfront and like continue to be upfront with you of like when we went, it's less now, but when in the first couple months of our relationship we talked about it quite a bit, because I like wanted to make sure that she understood where I was coming from, right, with a lot of like the past stuff that I went through, and then like transitioning into
I think that's super
a
healthy.
new relationship.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I
Yeah.
feel like that's also super like important to see how like your partner handles you talking about your past like traumas and relationships.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Megan probably took that so well, and she was like, okay, now I know I can move forward. And like I think that was how you were too. Like you told me what happened
Yeah.
in your past, and then I was like, okay, like now I can kind of navigate around like
Yeah, so it's
what
like,
to,
it's not even that like you're carrying a part of that person with you or anything like that, but it's like there's like a mental scar. So like if an instant repeats itself, even in like somewhere in your subconscious, you're gonna like, you know, like fight or flight kind of thing. So it's like,
Right.
it's definitely good to like discuss. I mean, that's, I guess, like what, when I talked about boundaries, we're kind of, that's what we talked about. And so it's like, you know, I'm not comfortable with this happening. And we explain this situation why, like, and, yeah, like, I mean, now I don't even think about anything from the past or anything like that. It's like, it's gotten to a point now where we've moved far enough forward that it's like, I don't know. I don't even remember dating anyone else. Like, it's like all a blur.
Well,
That's good.
well, and that's the nice part is that for me,
Yeah.
especially, is once you get it out and like you know that everything has been said, you never have to really worry about it or think about it again. Only when the other person
Yeah.
wants to talk about it or they want to bring it up, I never have to talk about it again. And that's like a nice, easy thing for me to do because then there's no pressure, right? Whereas if we got to a certain stage of a relationship and I hadn't talked about like when that stage happened in my previous relationship and it didn't go well, I don't have to talk about that because we've already talked about it again, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
that's
a healthy
really
relationship, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I guess the last question we'll ask is what are some goals, and we kind of touched on it previously, but what are some goals you guys have together? And do you guys find it's important to like have individual but also relationship goals? Because like obviously you guys are parents now, so you're an even bigger team. But for me, like I always call relationships a team. Like you're not, it's not an individual sport. So yeah, what are some like goals individually and then together that you have, and how important is that to you guys?
Probably Nashville, I think, is like a team goal.
Yeah, that's a big team goal. Like,
Don't leave us. No.
know.
No, we'll go visit. We'll go visit. It's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Jade's like, I'm gonna miss the people, but I will not miss Calgary.
Yeah.
no,
That's true.
I like Calgary.
But it's not
There's
Nashville.
something about Nashville.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
totally.
yeah, it's the Mecca, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's definitely like our main goal, like together. And then, you know, also just being like intentional on like going out, like we've been skating and just like going for walks, stuff like that, to kind of like do something together. Because I know it's like, it could be like a menial task, but you know, it's important. It definitely helps create a bond. Because like, if all you know of each other is just like being a mom and dad, you lose touch of like why you fell in love. I
Absolutely,
mean, we
yeah.
haven't, but it can get to that point if we're, you know,
Right.
not, you know, going out and making sure we're doing these things together. And
Just
that's
because you're
been pretty
married, you
awesome.
still should date.
Yeah.
I heard someone
Yeah, I've
quote
heard
that.
that many
Like, never
times.
stop dating your partner. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing because Marina's mother lives in town and her dad does too. So, you know, if they watch, it's been a little more tricky with COVID, but like when they watch Levi, like it's kind of like, I remember I think we went to get groceries on our first time ever out. Like,
No, we went to hot yoga.
Wow.
oh, we did. That's right.
Hot yoga.
Imagine
Jade doing hot yoga.
I'm
with
literally-
his
I
parents.
feel like I would pass out. I feel like I would
was
like
awful.
be 5 minutes in and I would just like be flat on the ground.
It
I don't
was
think
so
I'd make it.
awful.
You loved it, don't lie.
I mean, after I felt great, but like, I
Yeah.
literally
During,
never
yeah.
sweat so much in my life.
but that's kind of nice, I feel like, to sweat that much.
And like when you're in there, like as a dude, you're like, oh, I need to show up everybody. So I was trying to do the advanced positions. I'm just not that flexible. Like it's not.
No.
It doesn't work.
You got farm boy muscles. We're not built like that. Yeah.
And Marina was like a graceful like gazelle, and I was just like, I looked like a rhinoceros in there.
The-
trying
Yeah,
the
to,
you're a baby
instructor,
giraffe on
like,
an ice
I feel
rink.
Like the instructor
Yeah.
was just wanting to go hard to like see you like sweat. It was
Yeah,
so
it
funny.
was awful.
She was like, let's do this hard pose only for the advanced people. And she'd
I
look
was
at
like, oh,
Jade.
yeah.
She'd be like, only for the advanced.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was a fun date. And then we held hands for the first time in like a year.
yeah, it was almost like flirtatious. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
hey, like,
Yeah.
you know, like-
New, yeah.
Yeah, especially out in
something
public
fresh,
too, right?
something
You're
fresh,
like, oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
it is.
It was fun.
Amazing. Well, thank you both for again being on our podcast. We very much appreciated this, and it's been great to catch up with you, even during this Zoom call, which
Yeah.
you know we got to make it work. But yeah, thank you so much, and yeah, we appreciate you being
Yeah,
on the
super
podcast.
appreciative. We love you
Cool.
guys, and it's been really cool to see our friendship grow. And it's been really cool to have you on the podcast now to kind of get an insight to even deeper of stuff that we haven't even talked about yet.
Yeah.
So that's super cool.
Well, thanks so much for having us
Yeah,
on.
so
Like,
much fun. You guys are awesome podcasters, and it's going to be
Thanks.
exciting to see like where this goes for you guys and who, like, what other guests you guys have on. I'm excited to
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
we've
guys are
got some
crushing
stuff
it.
in the works we're pretty
Yeah.
excited about. So yeah,
Perfect.
awesome.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Yeah, talk to you later.
take care, guys.